Growing up in Garfield Park in the 80s and early 90s, what I did notice, the amount of people there and the amount of pride, the amount of culture. The neighborhood was packed, and as buildings were demolished, the culture kind of changed in the sense where people was unsure about the future of Garfield Park. But the ones that stayed had such pride in.
There is no small grocer where you can pick up rice or bread or milk. I live within walking distance of this site. I know what's there. That's nothing.
Hub 32 would be a table setter for the development around the neighborhood. This is just not about a building. It's more about a process of change.
Brooks and Scarpa was founded in 1991. We're a multidisciplinary office that does landscape, urban design, and architecture. I think part of our success has been because we believe in giving back more to the community than just a singular building.
The iteration of Studio Dwell has been around about 20 years. Our firm is mostly residential. I would say 95% of our projects are residential housing. And we do everything from single family to multifamily.
So we thought about an idea of a quilt, the idea that you could take pieces or different aspects of community and stitch them together almost like a neighborhood. Our proposal is really like a building within a building or a set of buildings within a building. And this allows the building to be at a scale which fits the community.
The parts we were looking at is, so we were looking at some old Chicago models of the courtyard building. And so where it's a large lot and there's a lot of units, but you split it apart and you create this green space on the inside.
That allows us to maximize daylight and views to all the units while providing a great common open space.
The way we're looking at this is having many supporting business areas on the ground level. We're not looking to have some large big box retailer come in. We want to have smaller spaces with flexibility. We have the hatchery across the street, and so we want to make this connection to there, whereas people are, learning how to put a business together and food, and maybe they can take that to the next level. And maybe there's a restaurant there or there's a cafe.
Michael's a 50-year-old affordable housing developer. He's got offices in DC, Atlanta, Chicago, Los Angeles, Hawaii. Our headquarters is Camden, New Jersey, just outside of Philadelphia. We've been in Chicago for about 20 years. Actually, we've built about 2,000 apartments in about 20 developments all across the city of Chicago, and they range from mixed income to mixed use to SRO, historic preservation, real wide gamut of housing.
KMW was created in 2009. It was kind of born out of the financial crisis. Background was in finance economics, and then we led us to new construction, high-end market rate homes. And after the financial crisis, we were kind of recruited by the city to kind of help with the neighborhood stabilization program. So during that effort, we created a couple hundred affordable homes, and our approach was we want to take our market rate home experience to the affordable realm.
True Delta is the real estate investment arm of Nation Builders Construction Group. We do construction management, we do general contracting in the commercial space. I've been working closely with at-risk and ex-offender populations for the longest. This idea of True Delta is just another continuation, this mission for us to be able to make sure that people who didn't always have the most opportunity, that they have more opportunity in the neighborhoods that they live in.
So what we try to do when we develop property is understand the strengths of any community we're working in and build off those strengths. So in this case, Hub 32, our intent is to connect to surrounding schools, the hatchery, Garfield Park Conservatory, the train stop. So there's these sort of things that are working and they're working well, and how can we place a development adjacent to the things that are working well?
Hub 32 is going to be a special project because it's kind of a center point that spreads out and connects neighborhoods and connects people.
You're able to, within 15 minutes, get from Lake and Kedzie to Clark and Lake on the Green Line. That if you got off the train right there at Lake and Kedzie, that you'd be able to take care of some of these things as you go home. In your own neighborhood, I think is empowering, it's important, it helps to build community. So when we talk about community wealth building, right, a lot of people really don't understand what that means, right? It means like how's the community actually going to benefit monetarily, right? And when I say that, meaning like, how do they have ownership?
It's really about figuring out how we plug neighborhood residents into the construction process. And usually we average between 10 and 15 new hires on a project. And quite often that means getting people sponsored into union positions, which can mean a career more than just a job.
The wealth building strategy it's more of a holistic and comprehensive wealth building strategy where we want to elevate the entire neighborhood by improving the housing stock, by improving choices, by bringing the density, which brings economic activity, and therefore the entire neighborhood benefits, just not one business or one person or one entity. This is just not about a building, it's more about a process of change. And so this project should attract other investments, and we are also working on an infill strategy with our philanthropic partners to build housing that folks can afford so we can meet the community where they are and create that density where people are more accountable, where the schools get better, where major retailers start to come in, and where entrepreneurs can thrive because we have the density and the people to support Hub 32 and other ancillary projects that comes along after.